Conservative influencers, Hodge twins, retweeted to their 2.2 million followers. Travis Kelce sold his soul to Pfizer to push clots shots. What a clown. Fox commentator Tommy Loren tweeting, perhaps this T Swift Travis Kelce thing is a match made in heaven. After all, I wish them the best of luck, not with their relationship, but rather myocarditis. Kelce turned off the comment section on the post of the ad, but people just flooded his other Instagram posts with hateful comments, with some accusing him of having sold his soul to Big Pharma, making a poor choice on what you promote, and I bet you won't be able to shake myocarditis off. Now, myocarditis is an inflammation of the heart muscle. It's usually caused by a viral infection. A severe case can weaken the heart, leading to heart failure, abnormal heartbeat, or even death. According to the latest study, myocarditis has been reported in some cases following the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines, particularly among adolescent and young men after a second dose. Except it's rare, and most importantly, young men actually have a higher risk of getting myocarditis or other heart conditions from the actual virus than the vaccine. A study published in April of 2022 shows teen boys were at a 2 to 6 times higher risk of heart complications after getting the COVID-19 infection compared to receiving the vaccine, while young men were at a 7 to 8 times higher risk, meaning the danger of death or serious illness is far greater for young men from getting COVID and then getting myocarditis than from getting myocarditis from the vaccine, which at this point I believe has not led to a single confirmed death. But look, let's get some factual analysis and answers from Dr. Amesh Adalja. He's an infectious disease expert and senior scholar at Johns Hopkins University Center for Health and Security. His view is more nuanced than some, which is why we wanted to talk to him about this. All right, so look, set the record straight for us on what's going on with the booster shots and concerns for younger men.
There really are no concerns when it comes to the updated vaccine or the booster shot. When you look at where myocarditis occurred, it was after the second dose in that primary series. We're not really seeing a major myocarditis risk with the updated vaccine. It's a one-off shot. And as you just said, this is not really something that changes the risk-benefit ratio of the vaccine, because vaccination gives you this certain low risk of myocarditis, but COVID-19 gives you a much higher risk of myocarditis. So I don't think that this is really a major issue. It definitely was something to think about when we were doing primary series on adolescent men and people in their young 20s, where we thought about that second dose of the vaccine and maybe spacing it out, maybe figuring out ways to minimize that myocarditis risk. But this really is not an issue for what's going on here. And I think it's just more people kind of piling on against this vaccine that has saved countless lives.
So why has it changed, though? What's different? Is the new vaccine better? Has it addressed those issues? What's changed?
Well, it seems to be that the myocarditis was related to that succession of 2 doses within 3 to 4 weeks apart. And if you space those doses, like we did, for example, in Canada, that myocarditis risk went down. So it may have to do with the immune system getting revved up too much with those shots at 3 and 4 week intervals. And maybe if you spaced them 12 weeks, you wouldn't get that myocarditis. So that's likely what was going on here. But it's not so much an issue with this updated vaccine.
So again, from your perspective, young men should still get the booster?
So I think when you look at the booster, the vaccine, the booster's benefits are really concentrated in those who have risk factors for severe disease. So that could be a young person with asthma, a young person who's overweight or has diabetes, for example. But in general, a healthy young person is going to get minimal benefit from the booster. It's going to be, I guess, low risk, though, and low reward. What we really want the booster to do is prevent people from having severe disease, hospitalization, and death. So that means high-risk people of any age, including pregnant women, are where we want this booster to really have high uptake levels. So if a healthy 18-year-old doesn't get the booster, I'm less worried than if a 78-year-old didn't get the booster or a 16-year-old with asthma didn't get the booster. That's where we really want to cut down on severe disease. And that's what these updated vaccines really do. And in some countries, they did target them. For example, in the United Kingdom, high-risk people. But in the United States, we went for a universal one-size-fits-all recommendation. But I think the value really is in the high risk.
So again, if 18-year-old says to you, should I, healthy 18-year-old says, should I or shouldn't I get the booster, what do you say?
I said it's up to you. I would say it's probably going to give you a marginal temporary benefit from infection for a couple of months. but it's not anything that's going to give you really bad side effects. Maybe your arm is going to be sore for a couple of days. So it's kind of plus minus if you want to get it or not.
All right. Dr. Adalja, it's that sort of nuance is the reason we wanted you on. Appreciate your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.